Alright guys, we are back with the Champion 2022 again. We're going to do an oil cooler. So this is just the standard kit you get off of Amazon. I know Barts Moto does have one. This is before I really started ordering a whole lot of parts. That's mildly concerning. I don't know if it's gonna. Yeah, to show it up on camera. Hopefully that doesn't leak. This one have it? No. So our oil lines. Four of the bolts. And 2, 4, 6. Oh, okay, they're all there. Just a second here. So we have our 4 bolts, 2 for into the block, 2 into the oil cooler, our gaskets that go on both sides of the bolt. This one actually came with a gasket. The last one did not. So, I might use it. We'll see. This is the mount you'll need for the icebear Champion. You will have to do a little bit of clearancing right here. And I will do it on a bench grinder, but you could do it with a file or a hand grinder. There's more bracketry and nuts and bolts. I don't remember what we'll use out of there, but I'll let you guys know. The important part, this replaces the one on the bike. And these are the bolts that bolt into the bike. And these are the oil cooler bolts. And we do want to make sure everything is clean, because there's no oil filter. Okay. So this might be a two-parter, because I am going to paint this and this. That's interesting. So let me zoom in. The one I put on my red bike only has a red guard. Hold on. So the one on the red bike only has a red guard and red standoffs. This has a red top piece, bottom piece, guard, standoffs. That's interesting. But I'm going to paint all of this black for the black bike, obviously. So give me a minute. So we're going to set aside our oil lines and all of this goodies, including the bag of bolts here, because you will have to flip this for it to work. You want your oil line inlet and outlet on the top side and your mounts on the bottom side. So you'll need a number 5 socket, or sorry, number 5 Allen. And if I'm not mistaken, these are 10s. Correct. And nothing is tight. So for reference, washer goes at the top. Just a second here, I'll come back. Okay, so after talking to the wife, these come apart. 10 on the top, 5mm Allen on the whatever, however you want to word it, top, 10mm nut. So I've spoken to her. Top and bottom are going to go black. The screen is going to go black. We're going to leave the red standoffs because it matches the Trail 70 and the Important and little stuff like that. This is her bike anyway. So this is going to stay how it is. And give me a few minutes. Let me start painting this and then we'll continue. Also, it has this little bit of spacer in here. And it's supposed to be an adhesive, but it just pops right out. You will need to replace that. And I have 3M 15-pound outdoor tape. And I just double stack it on top and bottom. And it keeps all this from rattling. Okay, while our paint dries, back that a little farther, we are going to get our mount set up, which is a 10mm. And this didn't have any issues keeping itself wedged in place last time. That 10mm really wasn't so hard to take off. Remember, Loctite everything. Blue Loctite, blueberry. Go around the other side and do that. Okay. Of course, that's in the way. Okay, that up and tucked out of the way. Let's see if I can hold you guys straight here. Damn. And it is up to you guys, whoever's installing this. I personally don't put that back on. You must use their own damn Loctite on here too. I just put it to the side with all my extra pieces. So if somebody needs one, let me know, because that will not be going back on. Okay. So now we grab this, and it's going to face this way. And you can see I'm putting a decent amount of pressure on it to get that lined up. So I'm going to come in here, right here, and just take a little bit off and come back and test fit it again. Okay. So much easier. That sits on and wiggles and moves. Not super duper tight like it was before. Good to go. I'm gonna hit that with a little black paint because I already got parts drying over here. There's our top. Sanded it and hit it all with a wire wheel. Got all that red off. Same with the grill or mesh or whatever you want to call it. So now I'm going to do the same thing with this. I don't think that it needs to be painted, but you know, you're already in there. I already have stuff drying, so why not just hit it with a coat or two real quick and let it dry. So because this is going to have to be a two-parter, 8, 8, 10, make sure when you're doing this, you put a hand back here on the back side, because that chrome circle comes off when you take this off. Did I bring it over here already? I did. Some don't come with a gasket, so you're going to need a scraper and just real gently get in here and separate it. we'll do it real quick. Okay, so come in with our 8s. 8. 8. Throw these intake bolts in up here just so you don't lose them. Or forget where they go. Pull your 8 off. Throw your 10 on. Like I said, put a hand on this backside here. And there should be, yeah. This washer comes off with it, and this will have oil on it, which I forgot about that. So I am going to stick a little catch can under there. You can see that's still on tight. So hold that, keep that back piece on, and just get in here with your scraper and pop it off. And just be real delicate, because I do plan on reusing this gasket. I did on the other one and I haven't had a single issue. Okay. Okay. There it is. Now we're going to come in and just real gentle like work it on around. And if you look up pit bike gasket set, you can find a new gasket if you really want it. Like I said, I don't see it being an issue. Make sure you're cleaning everything real good. Sorry, air compressor blew off. Okay, so for those asking, it goes in the bike like this. If you spin it around, the top, it pumps oil from the head up to the top end, or vice versa. And if you look on this one, wait. If you look on this one, it pumps it out of the top and then returns it back into the bottom end of the head. So, these gaskets do line up perfectly. The new gasket looks pretty much identical, but I am going to save that because I shouldn't need it. But I am going to put a little bit, try to keep it clean. Try to keep it clean, don't be like me. Throw a glove on real quick. And this is the one that's going back on, because we are going to install that. Just get you a little bit of red and tacky. Your rag and wipe it off. And just take a little red and tacky and smear it all around there. Try not to get it in the passages, but all over the gasket material. Both sides. Okay. I'll go ahead and sit that on there like so. Wipe your fingers off. And the only place that I had a leak at all on the red bike was on these little rubber on these guys. So, just for giggles, I'm going to put a little bit of it on there and just sit these to the side, because I don't want to put my oil lines on until everything else is done. That's the last thing, so I can route them and everything how I want. that was what I kind of had to fight that on the other bike, and it was kind of a pain. So, do your oil lines last? But I am going to go ahead and get all this. Just hit them with some red grease. Whatever grease you have, I use red and tacky. And just get a little bit on all of them. Take your glove off. Put it in your trash pile. Now we're going to come back around and put this on. Okay. So make sure you don't have any blocking the oil ports or the main port. And just set it on back on there. Oh, guess it would work better if you do it the right way. Make sure your gasket stays in line. And just take a top bolt and just start them all by hand. Don't ever start with an impact or your wrench. To get them all started by hand. Same with this. Wipe off that excess oil. I guess you don't have to, but I'm going to. When you put the larger 10 mil, make sure the washer's there. Put your hand on the back side. Feed that all the way through. Started by hand. I'm going to make sure my impact is on 1, the lowest setting. Okay, and just a couple little hits on it. On the tops. Okay. Okay. All that on my lowest impact setting. So that's how it'll look. You come in with a rag, clean up any excess crud you got on it. And that's all we can do for now.